Okay, another Eurovision video of my reviews for Tel Aviv 2019. This is going to be the longest one because this is about my own country. I get shit on these videos sometimes because people tell me that it's not the American Song Contest, so just shut the fuck up. I'm not American. I'm Norwegian. If I was American, I would still have free speech and be allowed to talk about the contest. I would probably have more free speech than I do as a European. But I am a European, so I'm going to say whatever the hell I want. And this is about the Norwegian entry for Tel Aviv, namely Spirit in the Sky, performed by Kano. Their band name is a dumbass name. It's spelled wrong. Uppercase, uppercase, lowercase, lowercase, uppercase, uppercase. You can't spell like that. I care about those things. And I resent them for being so dumb as to spell their name in this artistic and supposedly interesting way. It's not interesting, it's just dumb. Anyway, I'm sure most people don't care one whit about that, so it won't matter. The main thing that I have against this song is the way that it was presented in our national selection in Oslo at the beginning of March. Now, I should say that the only thing I really want for my country in the Eurovision Song Contest is for us not to make complete idiots of ourselves. And this year, out of the 10 songs that competed in our national final, 9 of them were songs that we could have sent and not made fools of ourselves. So I was actually really happy. This one was not the one I voted for, it was my second favorite, but I was perfectly happy to see it go. What I didn't like about it was something that it's mostly the fault of NRK, our broadcaster, and EBU member competing. They allow in our national final the acts to have basically however many people they want on stage. And for this routine, under this performance, they ended up with basically more than twice as many people on stage as is allowed. And many of the acts don't do that, but quite a few of them do. And I feel like that is actually, in a way, it's cheating because they're asking us to vote for something that we cannot possibly present at the international contest. Because I'm sure all of you watching know this, but there cannot be more than 6 people on stage at any one time in the international contest. So when you have 13, 14 people on stage, we can't do that in Tel Aviv. So we're not voting for this. It will not look like this because we will only have less than half of these people. So personally, I have a little bit of a grudge against acts that, because of course this is something that NRK chooses to do. And you might say the acts are not to blame, but I'm sure the acts are free to say we don't want our performance to be presented like this because we want it to be in a way that is realistic as to how it will be able to be presented in Tel Aviv, in this case, whatever the host city is. And kind of have not done that. So yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. I think it is unfair, and when you look at other countries' national selections, the ones that have similar things to what we have, where acts have to compete and present their entries, it never looks like this. Almost never do you see anyone with more than the permitted number of people on stage. But we do that in Norway, and it pisses me off, because it is, on some level, on my level perhaps, but still on some level, it is cheating. But what do I think about the song? Well, like I said, I would have been happy with almost any song from our lineup this year, so I was happy with this. I think it is mostly a good song. It's catchy. It has a really good beat and an interesting melody. The one thing that tells against it, and quite heavily so, is that it has some parts that are weird. And of course I'm talking about the third man. It's 3 people in the band, 2 of them, 1 male, 1 female. Their voices work really well together and they're singing sort of a duet, so that works really well. But then you have the third guy who sings something called joik, which is a traditional form of singing among the Sami people. And I have nothing against joik, I'm not saying that. It's interesting, although Personally, I've heard a lot of yoiks that sound better than this, because usually you can tell that there's words in there. But this mostly sounds like he's making noises. And I think, because we have to face it, almost everyone watching will not know what yoik is. So I think for a lot of people, this is just going to be really weird. If we're lucky, they'll like it because they'll feel like it's an authentic ethnic thing. So if we're lucky, they'll go with that. But if we're not lucky, they're just gonna think, what the fuck is that weird ass thing doing, messing up this otherwise good song. If we didn't have those parts of it, it would have less character, but perhaps it would be more palatable to large parts of the audience. I do expect us to get through from the final though, because there aren't that many songs that are very catchy this year, and this melody does kind of makes you want to get up and dance to some extent. So yeah, but again, all I want is for us to not make fools of ourselves, and we will not with this song, even though we cannot have all those people. What the hell is that thing they call it? Harmonica? No. It's not a harmonica. Because they had a shitload of people march up on stage playing accordion. That's what they were playing. Like 8 people playing the accordion. They will not be joining Kaino in Tel Aviv. But I think this will probably still, it will sound good. I hope it will look good. If you check out the official video to this song, that is weird. That is really, really weird. And I hope that they leave the wolf ears on whatever the hell at home and don't try to make our presentation look like a rip-off of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But other than that, if they can just make it a little bit neutral so people can hear the song, I think we have a chance of doing pretty well. So yay, Norway and Kaino. But learn to spell. Jeebus. Learn to spell.